Hello everyone, and welcome back to Modelverse Studio. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And today we have something very special. I would have said our first intergrade, but I did forget that we did showcase an intergrade here before, and that was the RX-78F00 from the Osaka Expo. That makes this the second intergrade to be featured in the channel, and this is the XXXG-01 Wing Gundam from Gundam Wing. And actually this is another intergrade that comes in a bigger box than usual. Intergrade kits were introduced a couple years ago, so they're actually not that old. And the idea was to introduce a simplified kit for beginners to get into Gundam. As the name suggests, intergrade. Now, the selling point of an intergrade is that you technically don't need any type of glue, you don't need nippers, and all of the cards are already color separated, so technically you don't even need to paint it. It comes with easy to read instructions. Here on the side, as we can see, it tells you that no tools are required to assemble a kit. And it shows how easily you could put it together. On this side we can see the front and rear views. And just by looking at the cover image here, I can already tell that this already rivals the HG grade. Just for comparisons, here is the HG grade. Although the front cover here is not an actual image, we can see a little bit of that from the side. Another one of the things that I noticed from this grade is that you can transform it into bird mode. And just for some even more fun, I actually have this in the RG grade. Of course, the RG grade is much more detailed. Same goes without saying on the RG grade. Now for the intergrade, I had actually heard before that you could do the bird transformation by just swapping out some parts, but from the images in the box, I don't see that. Well, let's go ahead and open this and see if you can or not. So we get one bag of runners, and very well color separated, which is pretty cool. And it seems like we get 3 runners. Our builder's note flyer. And here we have the manual with a cool image on the top half. Here on the bottom half, we get this really cool illustration displaying which parts belong to each section of the body. Here we have the head, the body, arms, waist, weapons, and legs. So they really are keeping it simple. Cool section here displaying some of the other HG Gundam Wing kits. And here are all of our 3 runners spread out. Here we have runner A, B, and C. And here's runner A, our color separated runner, with the yellow sections right here, blue in the middle, small section for green, and our 2 red sections. So I do like that it's well organized. Here we have a piece for the chest, V-fin, parts for the wing, shield, the bottom of the feet, runner B in all white. Here we can see the parts for the skirt, parts for the shield, legs, and here we have the 2 halves of the head. Runner C is all in this dark gray, and here we have the rifle, couple inner frame pieces. The hands are right here. Again, this being an intergrade kit, it's not going to take us long to get built. So let's go ahead and start on that. And there you have it, guys, the fully built Wing Gundam. And here are the wings that are easily attached to the back. Here we have the rifle, and it's really easy. So this being an integrate, and we'll talk about that later, the hand is a single piece, but we just wedge this in here, and there you go. Lastly, we have the shield. And here is the shield, and this one is very easy to attach as well. You have the handle right here, and that just is inserted into the hand. And there you go, fully equipped. As integrates go, this one is actually pretty good. The only other one that I've ever built was the RX-78F00-E, the Osaka Expo version. And that one was really good, very detailed, and I think that one was actually just a little bit better because of the Osaka Expo. However, this being the newest entry grade, I assume it is a little bit better than its predecessors. Now, from first glance, it might look like an HG, but there are a lot of things that do point out that it is an entry grade. For starters, we can see the detail in the face. You can see a little bit of detail, but only in certain places. Like here in this area, there's just no detail at all. Also, this entry grade doesn't have any stickers, and there are some colors missing, like right here on the camera. The legs are all white, however, there is a little bit of detail. Even though it looks bland in some of the areas, in other ones it does stand out. Like right here, you can see these little turrets, and these are color separated. The chest piece overall looks pretty good. The shoulders as well. The detail on the shield is actually pretty nice. Same goes without saying on the rifle itself, even though it's one single color. And here are the wings, which I think it's another very impressive feature of this kit. And they are color separated. So you got yellow, white, red, and blue. And they even open up. So one concern I had about the wings early on was that they would be very loose and easily fall off. And that did keep happening. However, I didn't realize that you do have to snap them in. So apply a little bit of pressure and you'll be all good. And here it seems like there'll be an add-on of some kind. So I don't know, maybe in the future they'll actually sell the option parts to turn this into bird mode. When it comes to articulation, it's actually like any other entry grade kit. It's not bad. The joints do feel sturdy. The shoulder piece can move on its own. Again, the hands are a single piece, so they don't open up and there's only one set of hands. Movement of the head, it's pretty standard. The area where it is a little bit impressive is actually right here on the knee joints. it is composed of different parts. So there is pretty fluid movement here. The skirt comes in a single piece, but it can be cut in half for individual movement, which is what I did right here. Range of the feet is not too bad. Now when it comes to the ankles, they do feel a little bit loose and they can easily come off. However, the one on this side is actually a little bit sturdier, but if you keep moving it, it does become loose. Now, even though this kit is not as detailed and it is lacking a bit of color in some areas, that can easily be solved with some panel lining and a couple of markers, and it'll definitely take this kit to the next level. So my final thoughts on this kit is that it is definitely worth the pickup. Very cheap. I think in the US it'll be around $8 or so. Very beginner friendly. If you're starting to get into Gundam, this is not a bad kit. It's not complicated at all, and it can easily be built within the hour. And even for experienced builders, it is still a very good grab. In my case, having started in the entry grade, I actually am curious to go to the next grade and do the HG and then the RG, since I do have those kits. And it would be nice having them side to side so I can do a bit of comparison. And with that, we end this build. Enjoy the final shots. I'll be back with something new. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And until then, take care, have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one.